Hi, everybody, and welcome to Ask a Witch. My name's Katrina Rasbold. I'm a professional witch in that I have done spell work for other people for a number of years now, several decades, maybe 30 or so. And that's what I do as my daily life is do cleansings for people, spell work for people, other types of magical work on behalf of other people. And I also teach. And in doing so, I get a lot of questions from my students, but also from email correspondence and people that just write to me. They've read my books or whatever it might be and have questions. And one came up this week, and it was about asking for the distinction between baneful magic and coercive magic. So that is something that's so individual. For me, I got to be honest, in a way, they're both the same. And a lot of people, I'll tell you straight out, do not feel the same way. And that's because a lot of people are really comfortable when they're doing magic to control other people. If you think about it, almost all spell work that you do or that you have somebody like me do for you usually involves the manipulation of the behavior or the thinking or the feeling of another person. Now, I do that for people. I have my limits. I don't do work that breaks up other people. I don't do work that harms other people in terms of causing them illness or causing them death or anything like that. And yeah, I have seen situations where I felt someone was actually killed by spell work. And certainly you can malign somebody socially and create social discord for them using spell work. A lot of witches, now this is real interesting. A lot of witches I talk to don't believe this happens. And that's just bizarre to me that there are actual witches out there that think other witches don't do magic against somebody or to influence somebody. And let me tell you, they do all the time. Most of the people that come to me, though, are not witches. Most of the people that come to me are just people that want to get shit done. They want to do things in a certain way. They want people to behave in a certain way. They want to achieve a certain thing, and they want me to help them do that through spell work. Now, at its heart, spell work, of course, is energy. It's moving energy toward a specific outcome. And now that's going to also be prayer. When you go into a Christian church and you pray for something, you're moving energy toward an outcome. You're asking God to create an outcome on your behalf. And when you do spell work for something, you're also moving energy that is natural in the world to create an outcome. So the question becomes, what is coercive and what is baneful? Baneful means harmful to another person. It means that it causes them some sort of anything from outright death, as I said, to inconvenience or some sort of misfortune. Now, I include manipulation in that because I don't want an outside source, an outside energy convincing me that I feel some way I don't feel, or trying to manipulate me into a particular behavior that is not something I really want to do. Now, when we're working magic, we have to consider the energetic payload of something. And this means when we're trying to affect a change, how much energy are we going to need to make that happen? And that comes down to one thing, and that's resistance. How much resistance is up against what you're wanting to do? So, when we're talking about baneful versus coercive, for instance, if somebody comes to me and says, I want you to do a love spell. I met this guy. We dated for a little while. Things are starting to get a little bit dry. I don't hear from him quite as much. I want to. I really felt a spark. I feel like we're twin flames. I want to connect deeper and more meaningfully with this person, but they're kind of ghosting me. What can we do to make that happen? Well, there's lots of things we can do, and it's going to involve candle work and oil work and amulets and mojo bags and stuff like that. So it's going to be a little bit of a process if we're really going to go whole hog on it. But here's the thing. How successful we're going to be in that is going to be determined by the amount of resistance that person has to being with my client. So let's say that this person went out on these dates and met my client, thought they were wonderful, enjoyed being with him, but somehow got the message they weren't available, or they weren't that into them. So they just went on to other things. Maybe they really liked them, but they just didn't get the message, hey, I'm really into you. And so they got disinterested. If I'm doing magical work to bring them in closer, something like a call me candle or a come to me candle, or um, a honey pot or something to wake up that interest that's there, I'm going to have pretty good success because this person was already on board. They were already into this other person. If, however, I'm doing that magic and this person was married to somebody else and didn't tell the person, my client, and they have a child, or maybe they just found out that their wife is pregnant, or maybe they met somebody who was just the person of their dreams and they're really into that person, or maybe there was just something so off-putting about my client that they were just, it was a no-go for them. It was just a complete deal breaker. And so they just started ghosting them. So in that case, it's going to be harder for me to pull them into that arena because they're resisting more than in the first case. So that's kind of the difference in the payload. Really depends on how much resistance is going on the other side, the person that you're attempting to get a particular reaction from. And that is, that's something you don't usually know, because here's the thing. When people come to me for magic, that other person is not in the conversation. So we don't know how they feel. We don't know what they think. Now, often my client thinks they know. They usually are pretty dialed in. Oh, I know that they liked me. Oh, I know he was on board. I know that, we had a connection. Well, maybe you don't. And I have to work from the idea of, I don't know what I'm getting into. I'm going to put out this energy and see what comes back to me, see what kind of interest I'm getting, kind of test the waters a little bit. Now, that is coercive magic. Coercive magic is when you are attempting to elicit a reaction, a thought, a feeling, a behavior from somebody else. Now, is that baneful magic? Not in the sense of the letter of the law, because baneful magic means you intend to cause them harm or inconvenience of some kind. So you're not really looking to harm them, but you are getting into issues of free will there. You are trying to elicit a behavior they are, for whatever reason, not willing to show you. So those examples are what is the difference in baneful and coercive. Now, we could do a little check mark test, and I could say, okay, is this coercive? Is this baneful? Where you can decide. So let's think about that a little bit. If you are doing magic to break up a couple, even if it's somebody that, your wife left you for this other guy and you want to break them up, even if it's for the best of reasons, that is still baneful magic. That is harming their relationship. If you are doing magic to break up your son from this daughter or this person that he's dating that is absolutely leading him down the wrong road and you can see it, even though your intentions are 100% supportive of the best outcome of your son, it's still baneful magic because you are breaking up a relationship that person is choosing. So if you are inflicting harm on a person or their relationships with others and that sort of thing, even if your intentions are good, it's still baneful magic because you are causing inconvenience or harm to that person. The outcome might be better, but in the moment, you're causing harm or you're causing hurt. Now, coercive, again, let's look at a little bit more coercive. I want a job. I want this job, this particular job. I've applied for it. I meet the application perfectly. I mean, my application is dialed for this job. I'm the perfect choice for this job. I want it. It pays just enough. I want it. I'm doing what I love. I want it. And so I start doing magic to get this job. Now, that is coercive magic. Now, it's manifestation magic. We can pretty it up however we want to, but it's also coercive because I'm trying to coerce the guy or the lady who is making the choice, the employer who's making the choice for who they're going to hire, into picking me over the other applicants. I'm, in a way, coercing the other applicants into not getting the job, looking for other opportunities, not being available if they do get chosen over me. That's coercive. Now, you'll notice I'm not really saying either one of these is good or bad, coercive or baneful. It is what it is. It becomes good or bad when we see it through the view of our own ethics and our own definitions. Now, those are all my definitions. You might have different ones, but for me and my practice, that's the way that I look at it. So when somebody asks me what's the difference in baneful and coercive magic, that's what it is. Coercive is attempting to manipulate a person into doing a particular thing, feeling a particular thing, thinking a particular thing. Baneful is when there is harmful and destructive intention toward what you're doing. You're going to create hurt, you're going to create harm. Even if it's for a long time good, you are injecting yourself into someone else's life and creating a certain negative experience for them. So that's my impression, and I'm the one that got asked, so that's why I'm saying that. There's no hard and fast on this. You're going to get different answers from different witches, but that's mine. And I hope to see you next time on the next episode of Ask a Witch, where we're going to talk about a different question that came up for me. So hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward to your comments. Bye-bye.